Expo will be at the Millennium Park, opposite Philip Omondi Stadium, under the theme Affordable Housing, Innovations and Technology. There will be captivating exhibitions and insightful discussions daily. Entrance is only 10,000 shillings per day. To book a stall, contact 0772 354 940. The Homes and Construction Expo is brought to you by New Vision.
Did you know it's better to build a hedge at the edge of the cliff than a hospital at its bottom? Oh yeah, that will be the theme for the Young Orators Speaking Competition Grand Finale that will take place on World AIDS Day, 1st December from 8:30 a.m. at Makerere University, Sidat Auditorium. Who will be the Young Orator of the Year? Will it be a student from Mengo SS, Makerere College School, Standard High School Zana, Mita College Kawempe, Winston Standard Secondary School, or Wanyange Girls Secondary School? Who will walk away with a cash award of 500,000 shillings? Encourage your teenager to be a part of this event that will educate them, inform them, and give them precautionary measures against HIV/AIDS. Entrance is only 20,000 shillings. For more information, contact 0772 181 229 or 0703 194 600. Organized by the Association of Uganda Public Speakers, using our voice to impact our world.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to another episode of the Business Roundup. As we edge closer to the new year, I would like to thank you, our viewers, for staying with us. I am your host, JORAM SSONKO, and it's a pleasure to have you tuned in. We have the highlights. Uganda flags off its first container of Hass avocados for export to Spain by sea. The National Social Security Fund launches Smart Life Flexi, a voluntary smart saving product. Kampala's non-motorized transport corridor falls short of expectations. The Ministry of Energy unveils the resettlement action plan for the proposed 8,400 megawatts Buyende nuclear power plant. For this and more, stay tuned. In our first report, as Uganda's oil and gas sector grows, it is becoming increasingly important for the media fraternity to stay informed about developments in the industry. While boardroom press briefings remain fundamental, well-organized field visits to oil and gas development areas offers invaluable insights. Dennis Sigor reports.
About 50 local journalists from across the country embarked on a full-day media tour of oil and gas operation areas in the vast Albertan Graben. The excursion, organized by the African Center for Media Excellence, ACME, in collaboration with public entities and the joint venture partners, aimed to update the media professionals, especially those specializing in the extractive industries, on the latest developments in the sector.
So as we move from exploration to production, a lot is happening in between, and the knowledge has to grow, and so there is always something new to learn. So but I think I'm by and large really happy with the progress. People like you, Dennis, you've been with this sector for many years. You've been very, very consistent, and the consistent people like you, it's very clear. The way you analyze these issues is very much reflected with the time you have invested and the focus and the consistency.
We want the media to see firsthand the impact of the work that has been going on for decades by government. Previously, there was very little interest. People would say, when is the oil coming? You've taken long, blah, blah, blah. But it's important for us to appreciate that. It's important for us to know when the oil is coming out, but it's more important for us to know that the journey that we are going through is bringing value to the country.
The sites visited included the Kingfisher Development Area, Kabale Industrial Area, which will host the Central Processing Facility, Kabale International Airport, the Tilenga Oil Project Area, and the National Enterprise Corporation's Oil Waste Management Facility.
So there's a lot of information to digest, and I think field visits like this are really pivotal at a time like this for people to understand what is actually happening, because disinformation, misinformation can actually paint a very poor picture of what is actually happening on the ground. And I think it is really embarrassing and shameful for journalists to just report on things that they are not sure about, even after they have come up to this side to understand what is really happening in the fields.
Oftentimes we just hear that the project's at 50% completion, 60% completion. We are told first oil is coming up in 2025, but oftentimes we don't have the facts on the ground. So when you come here and see exactly what's going on, you see the rigs in the background, we see the central processing facilities coming up, we see all these other things coming up, we kind of get an appreciation of what we have been told. We can interpret the statements and the reports we get better in conferences, at press briefings.
The sector has been covered for quite some time now, and I am so happy to know that the things that I have been interfacing with as a sub-editor on desk have become reality. They have turned into real life. So far so good, the information has been telling, but how better for me to come and experience it for myself.
This initiative comes at a crucial time when Uganda's oil and gas sector is experiencing rapid growth. It is therefore essential for the press to thoroughly understand various aspects of the industry, ranging from exploration, production, environmental concerns, community impacts, and revenue management.
All the packages under the Kingfisher project, we quite on schedule. For the drilling part, where the development of the well pads, all the well pads, 3 out of the 4 were completed, and 3 of the well pads have so far received the rig. The drilling for production is progressing. A number of wells that are required for production, we are closing on there.
To date, we have close to 15,000 people directly working on the project. This does not include the indirect workers, the induced. 15,000 directly working on the projects, and about 90% of those are Ugandans. Ugandans at all levels, at management, at operational and technical, and at entry level. Companies are investing in skilling Ugandans.
By equipping themselves with in-depth knowledge of the oil and gas industry, both locally and globally, Ugandan journalists are better positioned to ensure citizens remain informed, highlight opportunities in the sector, and expose potential risks. The media plays a very important role in shaping our public opinion, as well as holding various sectors accountable. It is therefore imperative for Ugandan media to keep tabs with the oil and gas developments like this one, the current construction of the oil and gas pipeline, in order to keep the public informed as well as manage their expectations. Dennis Igor for the Business Roundup.
Kampala's non-motorized transport corridor is one of the government's pilot projects designed to promote a space free from vehicles and motorcycles, creating more room for pedestrians and cyclists. However, the corridor featuring green cover, cycling and walking lanes has gradually lost its intended purpose, now resembling an ordinary road. Ivan Kahawa reports.
Kampala Capital City Authority initiated the non-motorized transport corridor within the Central Business District. This project aimed to encourage walking and cycling along the 1.95-kilometer stretch between Namirembe Road and Lumu Street, with a clear intent to keep it free from vehicles and motorcycles, as clearly indicated by signage. However, the corridor now appears to be a motorized route. It has become an unofficial stage and parking area for motorcycles, with well-organized leadership structures for each stage.
Abantu bayinza okweorganizinga mu bumenyi bw'amateeka tekikiteeka mu mateeka naye nga tulina okwogeraganya nabo.
Though the road was designed for cyclists, with markings on the surface to guide them, their space has been invaded. The blocked cycle lanes and routes limit access for cyclists, forcing them to use the main route.
Nga ntya Katonda osobola okulaba abantu bataano bavuga akagaali obugaali bwatubuze mbuvuga mu covid wano nga baluga muvuge ku bugaali naye akagaali nako kabbeeyi kuba akagaali akalungi kali mu mitwalo 7 kakadde bantu bameka abafoodinga ogula eggaali eyo.
For pedestrians, navigating the corridor is similar to crossing main roads. Some have resorted to walking on the green belt, which impacts its greenery.
Kireeta ekyo gaali ze baateekako zaali za miti na sengenge omuti guvunda enkuba bwetonya omuti gukola ki zaali zirina okukolebwa nga za stiiru oba za aluminium.
Competition remains intense as motorcycles, vehicles and pedestrians all struggle for the limited space. Some road users argue that there was no proper plan to relocate them to designated areas where they could operate without interfering with the corridor. Many claim that the current arrangement has negatively impacted their businesses, leaving them struggling to adapt.
But overall, if you look at the overall picture, the NMT has created more opportunity downtown, because even the people who are in offices uptown that feared to go down because of the jam can at least go there.
On the other hand, KCC officials remain optimistic, asserting that the project is fulfilling its intended purpose.
Well, the dream is alive.